The PropEA can pass every challenge, but not necessarily on the first attempt, and it will cost you money. It's a hedging EA that will buy on your challenge while selling on your live account at the same time. So if you lose the challenge, you will recover the cost of the challenge in your live account. In theory, it's a great concept, so let's put it to the test. So if you look at one of my VPSs, you will see that I have the PropEA attached to a 10K FTMO account that is nearly lost, but this is not the first time for this challenge. If I show you the metrics of the account, you will see that initially the expert made 2 huge losses of nearly $1,000, then a very profitable trade of over $540, and now again it lost a significant amount of money and the challenge is almost lost. However, I see one more long trade opening here and you can see that the price is going sideways. But if I lose the challenge, the cost of that challenge will be recovered on my live account. Look at this. I have the Black Bull Market platform where I have a live account of about $1,150, and you can see that whenever the PropEA was buying on the challenge, it was selling at the same time on my live account, or pretty much it was hedging on my live account. So if I decrease a little bit the window of my live platform, you will see that whenever the PropEA was buying on the challenge, it was selling at the same time with different quantity, of course, on my live account. So here is the next trade that bought on the challenge. It brought me loss, but it brought me profit in the live account. And here is the third trade on the live account that was a short trade. At the very same time, there was a long trade on the platform that brought me a loss. So the rough calculations on my live account show that if I lose the challenge, I will recover the cost or the amount I paid to buy the challenge in my live account. And I've decided to test the PropEA with $10,000 FTMO challenge. And as you know, FTMO comes in 2 steps. So after I eventually pass phase 1, I would need to pass phase 2 of the challenge. In that case, the 200K challenge costs around $1,160, and since the drawdown is not lower in phase 2, I would only need to deposit 2 times the challenge cost, which is around $2,320 plus the initial cost of $1,160. Total cost is $3,380. So that is the total cost if I want to go for the 200K challenge. As I said at the beginning of the video, it will cost you money to use the PropEA, but it will pass eventually the challenge for you. However, to make it faster and cheaper, I'm going to use FX2 funding, where they have 200K challenge for $925, and it's just one step. But first I want to make sure that the PropEA works on a smaller challenge with 2 phases, and here are the possibilities. If the challenge account passes level 1, I would lose $1,160 in the live account. If the challenge account passes level 2, I would lose $1,160 in the live account. If the challenge account loses level 1, I would make $1,160 in the live account, and if the challenge account loses level 2, I would make $2,320 in the live account. So if it passes level 1 and fails level 2, I would lose $1,160 and then make $2,320 in phase 2 if I lose the phase. This way my cost will not exceed $3,380. But let me stop with the math and show you what are the inputs of the expert advisor. If I go to properties, you will see that the inputs are very easy to use, and if you are a beginner, don't worry, there is a complete and detailed installation guide. However, the most important thing is that you need to point out the verification level. Currently I'm on step 1 with the 10K FTMO challenge, the minimum trading days that the prop firm requires, what is your target. In this case it is $1,000, and the max daily loss 500 in my account, the max loss is 1,000 as well, and here is the key feature. The total cost is $170. It is 155 euro, but at today's rate it is about $170. So the expert advisor will calculate automatically what amount it will hedge on my live account, so it will recover the cost of the challenge. So this is very important. It's not trying to recover the losses it makes in the challenge account, but it tries to recover the cost that you paid for the challenge. Then you can select the symbol you want to trade. I am testing it on gold, and there are a few more inputs, but the most important are the prop settings. So I will continue testing the EA, and by the end of the video we'll see together if it really works or it's just a theory and I will lose money. And a few days later I continue with some interesting results. If you look at my screen, you will see that the challenge was lost, the maximum loss was exceeded, but what's quite interesting is that I have recovered the cost I paid for the challenge into my live account. So here is the VPS, you can see the losses in the challenge, here are all of the trades, and if I switch to my live account, you will see that all of these were the trades that were taken in the opposite direction to the trades in the challenge. And if I calculate how much that is, it would look like $197.26, which is much more than the 155 euro I paid for the 10K FTMO challenge. Or in today's rate, this is actually $170, which means that I actually made $27.26 of a profit. Now let's take the opposite scenario. Let's say I have passed the challenge and I have lost the money in the live account. If I were to pass the challenge, I would go to phase 2, which is free, but if I fail on phase 2, I would pay for the challenge and I would lose in the live account. That is why the PropEA has the option where you can set the verification level, and if I was on phase 2, I will have to increase the total cost, which would be the price of the challenge plus the potential loss I would have had in my live account. Or let's assume I lose another $155 in total, the cost would be $310. And obviously the target is smaller, so I should decrease as well the target down to 500 instead of 1000. But because I don't want to make it complicated for you and for myself, I decided to try with another challenge that has only one phase. With the FX2 funding, we have just one step evaluation, and I have selected the 200K, which costs $925. Pay attention that the daily loss is 4% and the trailing drawdown is 6%. Target is 10%, so let's set it up in the PropEA. I have installed the FX2 funding platform and I have logged into the account, plus I have placed the new version of the PropEA 1.8 and I have prepared the settings I'm about to use. So this is the prop account. I will change the magic number to a random number that comes to my mind. It is just one level, so I'll keep keep it to 1. There are no minimum trading days with the FX2 funding, so the PropEA won't need to open small trades just to simulate activity. And the target is $20,000, max daily loss 8k, which is 4%, and max summary loss 6% or 12k. The total cost is $925, which means that I will need to have in my live account 3 times more, or this is $2,775. And currently my balance is 1,204, or that means that I will need to add extra $1,570 into my live account. Today is Saturday, the weekend, and on Monday I will fund the account and I will start the 200k challenge, and let's see what will happen. And a few days later you can see that actually I passed the challenge. I got the email from FX2 funding that says congratulations on passing your evaluation. So the PropEA actually passed the 200k challenge with a single trade. You can see that in my account I have this short trade on gold with 10 lots. It was opened in here and it was closed at that point, and you can see that I had a total profit of $20,180, which is more than 10%. But let me show you how much this cost in the live account. If I switch to it, you will see that I have this long trade with 0.86 that brought me a loss of $1,725.16. Oh, this is the very opposite trade that was open in here and it was closed in here. Or we can say that this is the cost that I paid to get the funded account, because the PropEA passed the challenge, but it was hedging on the other side in my live account, and obviously this is a losing trade, and the total cost is $1,725. But don't forget that I also bought the challenge, and in this case I paid $925, or in total I have the cost of the challenge plus the loss in my live account. That is $2,650.16. But because the fee is refundable with FX2 funding, if I show you a little bit higher, you will see that it says once you receive your funded account and request your first payout, FX2 funding will refund your entire valuation fee. But this is only if I succeed in making profits now in the funded account. And here I come to the conclusion with the pros and the cons of this PropEA. And I'll start with the cons. And number one is that it costs money. It actually lost $1,725 of the account, and I had to pay for the challenge itself. One more time, if I succeed in making profits in the funded account and I request a payout with the first payout, they will refund the fee. And in this case, I will stick to a loss of $1,725, which is the loss in my live account. Now let me bring two pros before I share with you the second con that I have for the PropEA. And number one is that you don't need really to have a strategy or a robot. You don't need to have experience. You just put the PropEA on the chart and it will start buying or selling in your challenge account and in your live account. One more time, it sold in my challenge and it bought in my live account. And you actually run it fully automatically. The inputs provided by the vendor are good enough so you can easily set it according to the challenge you have selected to use. Number two is you can use one license multiple times. So I used the license with the 10k FTMO challenge I showed to you, and then I used the very same license for this 200k challenge from FX2 funding. And if I show you the pricing, you will see that one license for 3 months starts at $400 and the ultimate 12-month license is $749. I'll leave the link down below in the description. information, but you need the license only for your live account, and you can use it on many challenges. You can see that right in here all the trades I had on my live account for the FTMO challenge. Then I funded with another $1,570, and then here is the hedging trade from the 200k challenge. And as I said, there will be a second con that I will point out at the end of the video, and this is the fact that after you get funded, you do what? If I was a beginner right now and I didn't have hundreds of robots in my portfolio, I would be really lost because I paid a huge amount to pass the challenge, and now I have to trade to make profits, but I don't have a strategy, right? I can keep hedging on live accounts, and there is such a theory with the PropEA, but I'll leave it for another video because it involves even more money. I'll leave the link down below to the PropEA so you can check out all the details, but I'll leave it on you to decide if it is worth using it. As always, I thank you so much for watching until the end. Before you go, check out this robot on my side that is called the FTMO robot and learn how I use it to pass prop firm challenges. As always, trade safe, don't forget I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.